up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the film Eternals. Now this is the 26th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and the film itself is based on the Marvel Comics too as well. Now it's about this immortal race known as the Eternals. They're now alien race too as well, who emerged from hiding after 1,000 years when their main enemies were their evil counterparts known as the Deviants turn up. Now this film, I've been hearing kind of about the reviews for it, and it is kind of seemed like at times like all over the place, but it still is like a pretty I think solid and entertaining Marvel film. As usual, they have some awesome fights. Like a lot of the characters were pretty cool and like funny and like hilarious. And I must admit I wasn't really familiar with the Eternals at all. And I'm sure they probably came across some like when I was reading like comics like back when I was like a kid and so on. I probably got like a whiff of them or something like that. But I still wasn't really too familiar with the Eternals themselves. Now the film is like full of like a bunch of like characters, like heroes and villains, like I say, so it's kind of hard to actually touch on each person, you know. And it's also like kind of like a period piece type film because it jumps all over the place. Like at times it be like in 5000 BC, like they got almost like caveman. Then it jumps like another period in time and so on. So I don't want to get into all that. But like I said, it's still like a pretty solid film. Now you have Gemma, I think that's how you pronounce her name, Gemma Chan or Gemma Chan, as Cersei. And I guess you could kind of say that she's kind of like the antagonist of the film. And I want to touch on why her character is like the antagonist because it's kind of spoiler territory. But you can tell that she's kind of like the main Eternal, and she's actually the one who's actually supposed to lead the Eternals to fight the Deviants, which are like these like creatures. They look all like they look like kind of like I don't know, you could tell they're not Earth, you know, from Earth, but they are like some pretty interesting creatures, you know, like they can take on different forms too or whatever and so on. And then you have other characters I want to touch on, like you have Richard Madden as Icarus. He's like another main character of the Eternals because he is like an Eternal too as well, because he seems very similar to like Superman because he flies around, he shoots like the heat vision out his eyes, so he seems like similar to Superman. Then you have Angelina Jolie as Athena. Now I thought her role seemed kind of like limited because she doesn't really like have too much to say in the film, but it's like she's just there, like Angelina Jolie, she's just there in the film, but it doesn't seem like she says that much, you know. It's like once it gets kind of towards the end, that's when she starts seeming like she speaks more. Then you also have Salma Hayek as Ajak. Now she was originally like the wise and spiritual leader of the Eternals, and like I said, by going to that, it kind of spills it. Then you also have Kingo, like he's played by Kumali Nanjiani, and she can shoot. Well, they can shoot like projectiles from their hand and so on and stuff like that. Another Eternal known as Phastos, he's played by Brian Tyree Henry, and he's like the intelligent one of the group and like the inventor of like their technology and so on. Then you have Leia McHugh as Sprite, and she's like an Eternal who can make like illusions and so on. And she wants to be human, if I'm not mistaken. There's like tons of other like characters and like villains, you know, and so on. But I just leave it at that. And the film itself is directed by Chloe Zhao. I think that's how you pronounce it, their name. But yeah, it does have like not really no pacing issues. It just seems like it's too many characters, like. And it is awesome that each character get their own time to shine too as well. But it still seems like it's just too many like characters and too many period jumping times when they jump to like 5000 BC, then they jump to like another BC, then they go all into space and all that. I ain't gonna touch on that. I thought that was interesting. I'm kind of curious to who this other guy is, who I believe is who I think it is, you know, I'm gonna see eventually. And this also has like the Easter eggs, like in the hidden trees if you stay and watch the credits, you know, because they have one like right before the credits, I think, going. Well, you know, as they go on, they have one. Then they have one once the credits are completely like finished, you know. But in Eternals, that's basically what the film is about. And the Deviants themselves, they're trying to actually merge Earth with like their realm or something like that, or they're trying to merge into our realm too as well. So it's kind of confusing. But I thought it was still like a pretty solid film. It feels like this is one of like the weaker ones of the Marvel Cinematic films though. Kind of like a lot of them really be like really good, you know. Some just give us like a B-. Like I said, it still seems to be like pretty entertaining. Like the action sequences is funny, you know. Like a lot of characters, all the characters do have like their own time to shine. So I think that's cool, you know. So I'm giving this a B-. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.